Shakai Brown meditates.
Well, hello, this is Shakai Brown again. Now, I've created a video on how to create a scripture card. Well, this video is how to do the scripture walk. So, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to use Psalm 46, verse 10, the first part of it, to explain this scripture walk to you. The first part of Psalm 46, verse 10 goes like this: Be still and know that I am God. Now, let me break that down for you. Stillness is necessary for the acquisition of knowledge. Yes, there is a school behind me, right? I went to this place just to, be outside. But anyways, think about back when you were in school. If you were talking a lot in the class, yes, you get in trouble. But besides that, point I'm trying to make is this: if you are talking a lot while the teacher is teaching, you do not absorb very much, if any, of the knowledge that the teacher is sharing with you. But when you become quiet and then you focus on what the teacher is saying, you can then absorb, take in, and understand what the teacher is teaching you. So there is a level of stillness that is required for the acquisition of knowledge. Be still and know that I'm God. Be still and know that I am God. I'll break it down in 3 parts for you. Be still, that means to relax. And know, focus, that I am God. What do you focus on? You focus on God. But how do you focus on God if you can't see Him? You focus on His Word. So, it's basically relax and focus on Scripture. That's Psalm 46, verse 10. So what is a scripture walk? Well, the answer is in the statement. It's going for a walk with a scripture. First part of the scripture walk is just to relax. I mean, I'm outside right now. I'm seeing a squirrel over there. I see trees, grass, hear birds. My purpose is just to relax. Relax. That is the key. You're not going for a run. You're not going jogging. You're going for a walk. A nice, simple, relaxed stroll. You're relaxing. Relax. Be still. You're relaxing, 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 relaxing. This is the first part. You need to relax. Now, when you feel sufficiently relaxed, and there's no time frame on it, I can't say, after 1 minute, 5 minutes. It's whenever you feel ready. Don't compare yourself with another person. So now, whenever you're ready, pull out the scripture card and then read it slowly and quietly to yourself, right? You need to slow it down, slowly and quietly to yourself, and then put it back in your pocket and keep walking and keep relaxing. Yep. And as you're walking and relaxing, you might think about a couple of the words of the scripture, and then maybe several minutes might go by. Pull out the card again and read it again, slowly and quietly to yourself. And then put it back in your pocket or hold it in your hand, whatever. And just keep walking. And just enjoy being outside. Enjoy. And you might get questions that comes to your mind as you're reading the scripture. This one I'm reading right now, it says, and in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. Now, I would read this slower than that, but I'm doing a video, so, you know. And you may get a question that pops up inside of your heart. And that question can be part of your meditation. As you're reading it, that question could be in the back of your mind. And in light of that question, as you're reading it, you will get an answer. Let me get back here. The biggest part of the scripture walk is for you to relax. Just relax. Focus on the scripture, but you're doing it in a relaxed manner. You know, like, tight. You're just chilling. Relax, read the scripture, put it back in. Hey, here's a question. What if you run into somebody? Maybe somebody that you know. Hey, that's fine. You're out for a walk. You're relaxing. Have a chat with them. Do whatever, right? And then when you feel like it, check out the scripture. You're just chilling. That's it. That is the scripture walk. You're walking with the scripture, looking at it, reading it, thinking about it. That's it. That's it. Now, what will happen is some thoughts might come to you. You might get an understanding, a revelation, an insight about the scripture that you're reading. And if you can, carry a notebook with you, a small notebook and a pen. Because something might come to you, jot it down. And actually, make sure you date it. The day that you're doing that, date it. And write down a scripture that you're meditating on. And write down whatever comes to you. Something may come to you, something may not come to you. The thing here is, you're not going to put pressure on yourself to get something out of it. You're chilling, you're relaxing, and whatever comes, comes. And the more you do this, the better at it you will get. I mean, I'm at the point right now, excuse me, that when I begin to read a scripture, like I'll say to myself, you know what? I'm going to read the book of Mark, which is what I've been doing. And I start reading it, and immediately, like almost immediately, I start to pull things out of the scripture. And sometimes I say this to people, it's hard for me to read the scripture. Like, read it like a book, like a regular book, because my spirit, I immediately start to pull things out of it. And I could get lost in a scripture verse or in a chapter because of the information that I'm pulling out of it, the insights that I'm getting out of it. But for a lot of people who are beginning with this, you may not get anything right away, and that is okay, because you're just starting out. I'll have to explain more of that later on, because there is something happening in you, and it's building up, and there's a cleansing going on, but that's another story. But this is the scripture walk. You go for a walk, you're relaxed. Don't forget patience. You got to be patient. Patient. Just relax. And you're walking, when you feel sufficiently relaxed, pull out your scripture card, read it slowly and quietly to yourself. Enjoy the trees. Enjoy the grass. Enjoy the wind. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy just being outside. I mean, you should be happy. Just enjoy it. Give yourself permission to enjoy being outside. And in that enjoyment, in that relaxation, read the scripture a couple of times. And you'll be amazed at what you get out of it. My name is Shaka Brown. God bless you.
Shaka Brown meditates.